So Mila and I decided to take a trip to Montana down to Wyoming, and we're gonna go check out all the national parks. And our first stop is actually Kalispell, Montana, and we stayed at this really cool hotel. I think it's like called the Grand Hotel. And then we tried to go eat at a few restaurants, but found out it was closed. So instead we just got ice cream. And then we headed to this brewery to actually see the Screamo concert. And yeah, it was a lot more exciting than I imagined, but Screamo music's still probably not my favorite. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy some film, and we'll see you on the first hike soon. So apparently bears are pretty prominent around this area, so they actually recommend you carrying bear spray. And here's actually some bear pelts that they let us see at the national park. So just thought it was very interesting. And lo and behold, while we were actually at our first stop towards Glacier, we actually saw some bears. So here's a picture of a cub and the moms. So pretty cool. All right, well, that was a pretty cool place. I love that national park. I think Glacier is actually rated like #1 in America for like most beautiful national parks. But yeah, it was a blast. And then we actually grabbed some food and headed down to Missoula, where we actually stayed at an Airbnb using something called HostShare. So one of our friends, who actually is the owner of HostShare, owns this app, and it's cool because what you do is actually list your home for rent, I think for 21 days, and then they can rent it out like 5 days out or something like that. But in return, you can actually rent out someone else's Airbnb that they list on this platform up to 5 days. So any of the unwanted days, like if it's available, you can pick those up. So yeah, you kind of save some money, especially if you have like a big group coming. It might be kind of cool to save some money, so you don't have to pay like $10,000 for a 10-day stay. Anyway, so Missoula, we're in Missoula right now. There's this really cool place called Rock and Rudy's that is gigantic, and it has a lot of cool stuff, including this little terrarium thingy, and then there's a gigantic fake bear. And yeah, Missoula is really cool. If you guys ever get a chance, make sure you stay there. But this is actually probably now my favorite city, Bozeman, Montana. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I had a lot of fun here. But yeah, I really like this place. It was definitely much more low-key, and I really didn't expect it to be all that great. So maybe it's just because my expectations were low that I liked it so much. But here's the pub that we went to, and we actually stayed right across the street. And yeah, if you're ever in town, stay in Bozeman. It's a pretty cool stop before you head to like Yellowstone. Yeah, just a really great place to be, and they have Airstream ice cream. Check it out. Okay, I had to interrupt your film because I had to talk about this place called Montana Ale Works real fast because it's so freaking good. This is Mila's first time, I think, trying bison dumplings, and including my first time trying bison dumplings, and man, was it good. So if you're in Bozeman, try this place. And the other dish that we got is actually, I think it was elk steak, or was it bison steak, with this cooked trout on top. And man, it was just so delicious. And I just highly recommend it if you've never had like game meats. And this freaking creme brulee, I don't know what they do to it. I think they put cocaine in there. Okay, scratch it out. Don't. We're not gonna put drugs in here. But yeah, that creme brulee was so freaking good. But yeah, since I'm already talking, we went to a comedy show later that day. My first comedy show, and I've never been to one, but it was cool. Kind of get drunk, listen to some people who are funny, some people who aren't funny, and yeah, good experience. My first time at a comedy show. After that, we pretty much headed to the national park, which was our favorite place, Yellowstone National Park. Actually, I don't know. I think I like the Grand Tetons a little bit better than Yellowstone, but we did see a lot of wildlife here, and Mila's dancing was just so on point. So enjoy. So now I think we're at this place called Prismatic Hot Springs. This is probably like the most cool hot springs in the Yellowstone National Park. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing, but I honestly like this thing more than Old Faithful. So it's cool because like it like drips down into the river, and you see all the steam, like all the hot water from like the lava down below. But these videos are cool, but honestly in person it's just like, you can't describe it because it's like wide angled. You feel the actual hot air blowing on you while it's actually like pretty cold outside, and the wind is just like pretty strong. So I didn't show it, but there's like a bunch of hats like lost in these springs, and because we want to protect them and not damage the area. Okay, here's Mila dancing again. Because you don't want to damage the area, you're actually not supposed to go off trail. And there's just like animals all over the place. There's bison, and then yeah, I just really love the Prismatic Hot Springs. And we only really made 2 big stops while we were in Yellowstone, which was that Prismatic Lake or Prismatic Hot Springs and Old Faithful. I mean, of course, we went to Mammoth, which was all right, but I think the biggest things I was most excited about was actually these 2 stops. If you're going to Old Faithful, just a heads up, it takes forever to explode, even though they give you an estimated time, but it's totally worth it to see if you've never seen it. And then we kind of headed back to the area of Yellowstone. Like, it's like a visitor center area. It's really small, but there's one really good restaurant. I wish I remember the name of it, but yeah, eat it, go on Yelp, and then figure out where the highest rated restaurant is. And yeah, it's just a pretty cool spot. And before I do some commentary on Grand Tetons, which is honestly, okay, now this is actually my favorite national park. I'm gonna just let you enjoy some scenery and kind of shut up. So enjoy, be tourist with us. I know, so obviously this place is gorgeous, and I wish you could. There she is dancing again. Oh my god. This place is gorgeous, and I wish you guys could have explored this with us, whoever's watching. So yeah, make sure you go to Grand Tetons. Totally worth it. One thing I didn't know about Grand Tetons National Park, it's actually near Jackson, Wyoming. That part I didn't know. The part I didn't know was how freaking expensive it is. So our hotels, I think on average, like anywhere else was around like 180 to maybe like 300. Every single hotel around the Grand Tetons was 400 or 500 bucks a night. So just keep that in mind, and it's totally worth it. I'm not complaining too much, but yeah, it caught me off by surprise. Here we are at Inspiration Point, by the way. Definitely a hike you must make if you are headed down here. It is just so gorgeous, and then like there's like a really cool walkway that's like carved along the cliffside, and you can tell I'm stopping and taking a lot of videos and pictures. But I wish again I could take you guys there. There's actually a boat that goes across this lake, so if you don't want to make the 9-mile trip like we did, like in a circle, and actually we got a little lost later in between, but luckily we found some other hikers. This is where we got lost, where we almost backtracked because it was getting too late and we didn't want to walk like 5 more miles. But yeah, there's actually a boat that goes across, so you don't have to take the long hike and hurt your little feetsies. And then we headed to this place called Gather, and place is also really good. Funny story, I got like a little piece of oregano like stuck in my tonsil, and this bison parpadel actually was a little bit less enjoyable, but I got it out. We made it back home to the Alpenhof Lodge in Jackson, Teton Village. Really pretty. Again, for what we paid anywhere else, again, I thought it was a little bit expensive, but again, where else are you going to see these beautiful colors except maybe like Crescent Butte, Colorado? Overall, the national park had lots to offer in Grand Tetons, and I'm really glad I got to make this video and kind of share up Mila. It's really special. I mean, we both work really hard in our Airbnb business, and I definitely think we deserve to reward ourselves, to kind of re-energize ourselves and kind of remind ourselves like, hey, you know, yeah, business is hard right now, but it's going to be all worth it because we get to do really cool trips like this, and we're hoping eventually, you know, if we have a family, we get to take our kids on trips like these and not have to work all the time. And yeah, I want to hopefully keep on documenting these really cool videos, so maybe 30 to 40 years from now we can look back and just say like, hey, we had a pretty cool life, and I think we did all the right moves, and I hopefully wouldn't change a dang thing. Those are really good pretzels. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. See you on our next vacation.